Right then, members, we move on to agenda item 71 on page 65, which is Stroud's in Kenton Lane. It's a full application for the erection of one house. And it's before the committee as it's a major application. And the case officer is Mr. Ray, who I shall hand over to.
Thank you, Chairman. The application site is a large area of land in the north of the borough, just south of Remlin Hill. The site forms part of the historic Park Place estate that has, over the last 10 years, been divided into a small number of estates, each with a principal dwelling and a number of ancillary buildings associated with each dwelling. Planning permission was granted in 2008 for the division of the site, the principal being considered acceptable for a number of mansions being built within this small estate. The general and overarching principle of this approach was to reduce the overall build form within the green belt by removing inappropriate buildings that do not contribute to the character of the area. This proposal in front of us today is very much in keeping with this approach, with the overall volume of build form proposed being reduced by some 25,000 cubic metres across the estate. The application site itself is approximately 80 hectares in size and forms the last part of the wider estate that is yet to be developed. A number of applications have been permitted on this site previously with single dwellings of various designs and styles, from classical designs to modern, and these are the two latest ones that are shown. The top one is currently extant. This application is for a dwelling that is 3 stories in height with basement and underground parking. The overall height of the building would be 13.15 metres, a width of 60 metres and a depth of 17 metres. The building is U-shaped in form, with contemporary design that takes influences from the 18th and 19th century. The building would sit well in the landscape with minimal or very limited views of the dwelling from any public vantage points. It would sit in the same location as all the previously approved dwellings. However, as part of this application, a great deal of landscape enhancements are proposed as part of the scheme. These include large areas of new enhanced meadow grassland being planted, a lavender field, restoration of ponds and new ponds, and a large number of native trees being planted to form the state appropriate for its location. Whilst previous applications have been positive in this regard, this application proposes planting the landscape apartments to an exceptionally high standard. The proposal is considered acceptable in principle, the application being in accordance with the spirit of the original outline application 10 years ago. The ecology and landscape enhancements are of an exceptionally high standard, with great thought and room being put into the design not only of the house but the estate as a whole and its integration into the historic landscape, and it returning to the country estate it once was. In addition, the quality of the build will also be to the highest level, with the building being constructed using energy performance technologies which are brand new, as well as the best and most appropriate materials available. Just a few updates. We did get a recommendation of no objection from the Council's ecologist as per the condition 13 within the update. A couple of other conditions were also proposed have been updated. This is the protection of trees as a site tree protection plan has been submitted, which is absolutely fine, and same as a construction management plan. They had submitted one, but we just required a couple of updates to make it absolutely suitable, which it is. As such, the recommendation is for approval subject to the completion of the section 106, which stops the existing application, which is line being built, also tying in a couple of ancillary applications to this one. So subject to that and the conditions contained within the report and the update, it's recommended for approval.
Thank you very much. Before I open it up to members, the Ward Councillor, John Halsall, did send in a submission about flooding, which I know you have responded to, but I would just like to talk publicly to speak on it, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's the two parts to that answer. First of all, is that there's been some flooding issues to the south of the site on Kenton's Lane. However, that's completely unlinked to this application. It's a historic issue which the House has no influence on. It doesn't change it, and it's not the role of this application to make that solution. But notwithstanding that, the applicant's agents and WBC's highways drainage have been in discussions. They've come up with a solution, and it's just hopefully arranging that with the landowner to hope we resolve that.
Thank you very much. Members? Wait, and then Angus, and then John.
Can I get my bearings here?
Yeah.
In conjunction, because you were involved in the polo centre, weren't you?
Yes.
Is this in the same ownership as the polo centre? So as you, 'cause I know where the polo centre is.
Yeah.
Where in relationship to the polo centre is this?
So this is south of the polo centre. You see another mansion at the top. The polo was just north of that, so the polo sort of went adjacent to that. The Park Place as a whole was bought by a single owner. It's since been, the Park Place mansion was bought by an individual owner. There was the planning permission on the polo site, but that's been taken into the owner for the listed building. We've got the mansion just to the top there. That's a separate estate. And this is the third one, which has now been purchased by a private owner. It's not the development company who, the agent who did the whole site, although they've been representing the owner, but it's been bought with an intention to build pretty much straight away.
So it's the same developer, isn't it?
Yes, his agent is the same developer.
Well, that makes sense in the built form.
Yeah.
Angus?
Yes, it's building on that. And I well remember the original outline for the whole estate. Can't believe it's 10 years ago. And I visited it many times, and it was envisaged to be split up in this way, because this was the area where there was a golf course originally. And I think this is a splendid ending to it, and I don't think, because the estate is so big, the levels vary all around. It's not as though each bit could be seen from any other bit, so it doesn't matter that it's in a totally different style. I think most of these things are covered. I just find it such an incredible original investment by Mr. Spink, and here we are 10 years before he's managed to finish it. So I don't think there's any particularly objections in any way, and I fully support it.
John?
There is no mention of sill in this application. I noticed there's an S106, but can you explain why there's no sill on this building?
If it is still liable, it would be paid. It could. I mean, the long and the short of it, SIL is not specifically related to the granting of the permission. It's upon implementation of the planning consent. If it is liable, then they would have to pay SIL equivalent to the new floor space. It may well be, however, if they have a reason for requesting relief, we'll look at it and go from there. It's separate to the application itself.
So, I mean, normally the sill would be applicable. The only time sill we would ever consider reducing sill is if it wasn't financially viable.
Yeah, that would be sort of contributions to affordable housing and things like this. This doesn't meet the threshold of affordable housing, but in terms of sill,
sorry.
if I may, sorry for interrupting. Single dwellings, new floor space would be still liable. Anyone can seek relief if they're doing it under certain parameters. For instance, self-build, you have relief under that. We're not in a position to say whether or not they're going to apply for relief and do a self-build or not. That is for the developer, the owner, to ask to apply for at the time that they start the consent, implement the consent. As far as we're concerned, it is still liable up front. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does in part. I understand what you're saying, but I'd like to think that dwelling, obviously there's no issues with regard to viability. And calling it a self-build is pretty stretching the envelope somewhat, isn't it? I can't see anybody up there laying bricks and pushing a wheelbarrow around. So calling it a self-build is really pushing the envelope, I think.
Yeah, John, just to clarify, I think there is there's a point that still doesn't, so you can't be still self-built and be an exemption, and it's, from recollection, it's about $250,000. But this house would be still liable, I suspect.
That just answers my question.
Absolutely, sorry, I'm probably confused in saying, yes, it is still liable, but it's up
It's
to...
just you made reference to S106 in, sorry, it's just you made reference to S106 in the report, which...
Yeah, they're two separate entities, two different things.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Right, members, anybody else want to ask questions, seek clarification? Absolutely not. Okay. We will go to the vote then. We have the recommendations set out on page 67 for approval with a number of conditions and conformities. In the members' update, there are a number of changes to the conditions. So all those in favour, please show. And that is unanimous. Thank you, members.